but here we are. This is the 6th Annual Artistic License Awards. Thank you all so much, esteemed colleagues, board members, honorees, and fans of art and organizations like California Lawyers for the Arts for coming tonight. I have been honored to be on the board of California Lawyers for the Arts for 22 years, about the same amount of time I've had my own gallery. And it is just for someone who really wanted to practice law but loved to be in the art business a little bit more. This has been a wonderful way to kind of keep my hand in and help artists in all the ways our organization does. One of the other ways that you can help support organizations like California Lawyers for the Arts is through purchasing an arts license plate. The money from that plate, which is $50, you can put it on your car, goes directly to arts educational grants that we make from the California Arts Council. The impact can be huge. If we sell 1 million plates, that raises $40 million a year for the arts.
Thank you all for coming and welcome. A few years ago, actually, several of us at CLA, Bill, Alma Robinson, and myself, we created the Artistic License Awards about 6 years ago. And in the 6 years, we have had the privilege of honoring truly outstanding individuals, artists, organizations, and lawyers. Now, for this particular event, I volunteered to introduce my colleague and good friend, Val Zavala.
So the contribution of the arts to our state's well-being, as you know, through economic development, tourism, educational outcomes, the pride of place cannot be understated. I'm glad to say it's finally sort of being recognized and quantified. Through its work as a stellar arts service organization, California Lawyers for the Arts helps artists and arts organizations refine their legal and business practices so they are primed for success and able to contribute to our state's vitality by getting meaningful work and sustaining themselves as artists. Now in Los Angeles, CLA helps more than 3,000 artists each year through education programs, legal counseling, dispute resolution, and information services. Yes, artists do get in disputes. In fact, my boyfriend used, my husband, he's only a week old, so I have to change boyfriend to husband. I know. My husband used California Lawyers for the Arts when a nonprofit that he was involved with lost their nonprofit status and then they had to regain it. So CLA came in very, very helpful in that respect. So CLA has been helpful again for artists at all stages by providing pro bono, low-cost services for resolving disputes. Through CLA, artists have recovered their work from galleries, been paid for damages, and worked out issues involving intellectual property rights. Through its advocacy, CLA also represents artists' values to the wider world, building alliances, for example, with the environmental sector, and working to restore arts in our prisons and jails. So by honoring elected leaders, attorneys, and artists whose work enhances this important cause, CLA is recognizing valuable role models whose work also strengthens the infrastructure of the arts sector. So we're so excited to recognize 5 honorees who have devoted their time and energy to service through the arts and positively impacted our communities as a result. So now I'd like to invite Maria Safarian, the co-president of the CLA board and partner at Munger, Toles & Olson in Los Angeles, one of tonight's Grand Vision sponsors, to come to the stage and make tonight's first presentation.
Okay. Welcome everybody to the 6th Annual Artistic License Awards. This is an amazing turnout, a very fashionable crowd, really exciting, glad you are here. I'm Maria Safarian, co-president of CLA. So I have the great honor of introducing the first recipient of the award, of the 2013 Artistic License Award, Intel Corporation. Intel truly has been an exemplar and leader in corporate community service. Started in 2007, Intel's innovative pro bono program links Intel in-house lawyers with the community, sometimes in partnership with law firms and organizations for services ranging from guardianship for minors, consumer debt and housing issues, and business counseling for low-income entrepreneurs, and most recently, thanks to our very own Eric Metzger, to artists and others in the entertainment and inventor community. In 2010, again thanks to Eric, Intel began providing entertainment and arts pro bono services to artists throughout the country by partnering with organizations like CLA, filmmakers, musicians, fashion designers, and many others. So under its pro bono program, Intel lawyers have provided 12,000 hours of service, comparable to over $3.1 million. And through their foundation, they've generated, with supporting matching funds, generated over $110,000 to pro bono and other organizations, charity and other charities. Intel's dedication has not only been good for the community, it's also made it a better place to work. So, accepting the award tonight on behalf of Intel is Eric Metzger and Larry Bennett, patent attorneys and pro bono coordinators.
And when Eric came to me and explained what he wanted to do, I said, well, artists are low-income entrepreneurs. I don't know that I've met an artist that didn't have starving in front of it when he started. And through Eric's effort, and Eric will make a few remarks here, it's morphed into us supporting the USPTO and working closely to establish the program for the entire West Coast to help out with inventors that need help and don't have the support maybe that they need to get going to realize the dream that our president's always talking about. Eric's put in a lot of work, it's very appreciated, and I think the beneficiaries, and we mentioned a few here tonight, there's many others that aren't named. Thank you all very much. We very much appreciate the award and the recognition.
I'm very passionate about creatives and innovation. I started as an engineer with Intel in 1994, now I'm an attorney. And so when it comes to innovation and creative pursuits, I'm a fan. I also create myself, so to help out people like Graham Reynolds, who's with us tonight, is a deep honor. He's not only a friend, he's a very worthwhile project in my mind. I want to thank Lindsay Moley, who's also here. She does a lot of the trademark work for us when we help somebody, as well as Larry for letting us do this, and of course CLA for helping us get involved and provide this service to artists around the state. I think it's a great thing and we want to do more of it, so thanks very much. This is great.
Our next presenter is M.J. Bogatin, who serves as the co-president of the CLA board. He heads CLA's legal referral committee and practices art law in Northern California. M.J.?
Catherine Emanuel has taken over, I think, 40 pro bono cases in just the last 3 years, devoting hundreds of hours to the services for those needy artists. This is beside the other work that she does that is low paying and or flat fee in support of artists and the community in need here in Southern California. I'm not going to repeat all the elements of the biographical material that's in our artistic license program tonight, but I will say that that lovely accent comes from her originating from Belfast, right? And that she takes great pride in the work that she provides. One of the things about being a solo practitioner, working with pro bonos, is you've got to spend additional time in that effort. It typically takes a lot of education, it takes a lot of mediation, and it takes a lot of empathy. And for those attorneys who put so much effort into their pro bono effort, like Catherine, I think that this creates a level of holistic representation that is just a wonderful tribute to our profession. Catherine, you want to come up? I also want to read a proclamation. It says, with sincere congratulations and best wishes, the Board of Supervisors of the County of Los Angeles does hereby join in your celebration. Signed by Mark Ridley Thomas and Zev Yaroslavsky.
Well, it's truly been an honor to work with California Lawyers for the Arts, and more especially with the clients that I've had the pleasure of working with. And I'd like to express the reasons with a poem. And it's a poem by E.B. White called I Paint What I See. And after all, it's my wall. We'll see if it is, said Rivera.
Thank you so much, Catherine. Well, CLA works with more than 150 attorneys around the state who, like Catherine, are generous in helping thousands of musicians, gamers, performers, and visual artists resolve their legal problems. Eric George, our next presenter, is a partner in the law firm of Brown, George, and Ross, which is a benefactor sponsor of tonight's event, and is currently pursuing resale royalty payments from Sotheby's, Christie's, and eBay on behalf of several artists. Now, this unique law, the California Resale Royalty Act of 1976, was authored by Senator Alan Cerrotti, and it allows California artists to benefit economically when the price of their work escalates in resale. Very important, and I'd like to call Eric George.
Well, I have never met Alan Cerrotti until about an hour ago, but I actually feel like I know him a little bit. I'm not just speaking about data, the stuff that anybody can find on a handheld device if they looked up Alan Cerrotti's name. That would tell you some remarkable things. It would tell you that he's a native Angelino, that he went to Stanford, he went to USC for law school, that he began service in the executive branch of the state, went on to become a state assemblyman and a state senator, and did all sorts of extraordinary things. But what I'd like to point out tonight that kind of eludes that data is that in a day and an age when many people in government service are politicians, you, Alan Cerrotti, were really a statesman. And I'd like to explain why I say that. I say that because I read through every single page of the legislative history for the Artist Resale Royalty Act that was just discussed, and it's really remarkable. Imagine, if you will, what it takes to launch and wage a war for the betterment of artists in the state of California. Group with few constituents, no major war chest, and yet that's exactly what Alan Cerrotti did. First of all, he authored some legislation that created California's seminal Art in Public Buildings. And then he did something that I think is one of the most bold and forward pieces of legislation that's come out of the state. We all know that those performing arts artists can get a royalty when their works are replayed or reperformed in the future. Think of a pianist whose records are sold, or a television writer whose series goes into syndication, or a book author. But what happens to a painter? What happens to a sculptor? And why is it that those artists should be denied a future income stream because of the medium that they choose for their performance of art? So Alan Cerrotti looked far and wide. He looked to other countries and the laws that they had had. He created other provisions totally on his own, and he authored and sponsored California's Resale Royalty Act. And it ensures that an artist, perhaps while in a time where he or she is impoverished or obscure, won't sell a work for pennies and then sit back years later and watch other people speculate as that art becomes really valuable. Now, I could go on at length about this legislation, and I'd be happy to talk about some of the litigation over it. But I'll just say this in closing. As one learns when you read through the history of this legislation, it took creativity and scholarship to write. It took boldness and courage to introduce. And it took tenacity and strength and strategy to pass. So it's my pleasure to introduce to you the man who, in one person, combines all these great qualities to our benefit. Alan Cerrotti.
I think I go back a long ways with Alma, maybe to the very beginning of the organization. Not quite? Okay. But at any rate, I wish you well, and you've done a marvelous thing for all the artists and all the good people in this state. So thank you very much. But thank you very much for this honor. And thank you very much for your organization and for what you do for all the arts. And I'll be with you.
Alma Robinson has been the longtime executive director of the California Lawyers for the Arts. And during her tenure, she crafted CLA's Alternative Dispute Resolution Program and then developed it as a national model, working with organizations across the country, including Volunteer Lawyers for the Arts in New York, to help them train their staff and volunteers. So artists with legal problems in New York can now get help through the connection with CLA and Volunteer Lawyers for the Arts mediation program. She's also led a number of initiatives, collaborations with sectors outside of the arts, including CLA's current advocacy effort to restore arts programs in our prisons and jails, our penal institutions. During the past few months, she has been seen lobbying for the federal arts funding on Capitol Hill and made the case for state support for arts in corrections and hearings held by the State Assembly and by the State Senate and Assembly.
Thank you, Val, for that generous introduction, and thank you all for being with us tonight. This is such a thrilling occasion. Our 6th event, it was a dream to have this kind of presence in Los Angeles. I want to thank a former member of our board, Amy Neiman, who's here with her dad and her good friend, Alan Cerroti, and her husband. Amy and I conspired to put Volunteer Lawyers for the Arts LA together with BELA, and we birthed California Lawyers for the Arts. We now have 3 offices: Santa Monica, Sacramento, San Francisco. Anyway, thank you. It's been a lovely evening. Thank you for joining us. Our next presenter is my good friend Craig Watson, who I enjoyed getting to know in his role as the director of the California Arts Council. When I found out that Craig had been working with Christo, the genius, in his early days, fresh out of college, I knew that we were soulmates. Craig, please join us.
Thank you, Alma. And shout out back to you, Alma. It's been a delight to work with you on so many different exciting projects. As the director of the California Arts Council and a proud resident of the 25th Senate District, I am delighted to be here to honor my state senator. You've seen some of Senator Liu's background in your program, but I want to add further context for this award. With California most recently ranked as 47th in per pupil spending and with easily observable cuts to arts education, we risk devastating outcomes for a state that rightly considers itself the center of global creativity. When Fortune 500 CEOs are interviewed, they say the attributes most desired in a new workforce is creativity and innovation skills. If California is to maintain its global competitiveness, we ignore the devastation happening to the arts and a creative education at our very peril. To meet these challenges, Carol co-authored SB 432, which would help to adjust the state's academic performance index to encourage and take into account activities in public school classrooms that foster creativity, innovation, and problem solving, all skills exercised by a curriculum rich in the arts. Senator Liu has also stepped in to sponsor 2 bills of particular interest to us at the California Arts Council. With Curran Price recently elected to the LA City Council, Carol gladly accepted the sponsor role for AB 789, a bill to give us more flexibility as we raise critical funds through the sale of the Arts Plate, the specialty license plate that raises over $3 million a year for the arts in California. She's also now sponsor for AB 571, and this bill allows the CAC to return to the voluntary contribution forms that you see in your state tax forms. So you can contribute to the Keep Arts in Schools Fund. As you can see from just this short review, State Senator Carol Liu, my senator, is a champion for what we all of us hold dear. Please share your appreciation for this remarkable public servant.
Thank you very much, Craig. It's wonderful to join all of you here this evening. Thank you very much, CLA, for selecting me for this award. It is an honor for me to join you this evening, and thank you for your gracious words, Craig. Craig and I feel like we're co-conspirators trying to get more money for the Arts Council and trying to get more money injected into our system for arts education. It's something that we have really devastated in this state over the past several years, probably longer than that, but only because we've been in such this recession that has really harmed a lot of people. But we know that the arts play a huge part in all of our lives, and I feel like if I hadn't been a politician, whatever that is, I probably would have been an artist. It's my first love, but you know, it has been a heartbreaking time for all of us. So I am an educator. I'm an arts advocate. I need your help. And we need all of us to stand up for this very important part of what makes all of us people, individuals. It's part of our soul to be involved in the arts. Research validates all of the importance of having arts as not only a tool, but part of your being, how you see things, how you can relate to others. And we know, as Craig has already said, problem solving, creativity, innovation are the key successes to who we are as Californians, and we need to make sure that continues forward. Thank you very much for the recognition. It's not about me, it's about all of us engaged in this very, very important process.
Matt is a tireless arts advocate in his own right and founder of Adopt the Arts, which provides arts education in underserved Los Angeles schools. Matt?
Since the mid-60s, when Wayne Kramer formed the group MC5 in his hometown of Detroit, Michigan, Wayne has been an innovator, not only speaking with his guitar in psychedelic punk splendor, but also the voice and fear behind the music with social justice causes. From the beginning, always questioning and standing for the working class and the underprivileged. Wayne's journey has been a long and not always straight path. In 1975, Wayne spent 3 years in Lexington Federal Correction Institution after a drug bust. While Wayne was in prison, he met Red Rodney, a jazz trumpet player. They jammed together, and Wayne pulled through his term. After leaving prison, Wayne returned to music, producing albums, film scores, as well as many solo efforts, reuniting the remaining living members of the MC5 to tour the world in 2004. The MC5 and Wayne's guitar playing became a major influence on bands from The Clash, The Ramones, Rage Against the Machine, and Guns N' Roses. In 2009, Wayne partnered with singer Billy Bragg in his biggest endeavor yet, Jail Guitar Doors. Bringing music as a tool to rehabilitate and heal within the prison system. As a man with major credentials as a musician, a one-time prisoner, who better to be the voice for Jail Guitar Doors? Once a man on the other side of the law has shown the world that change is possible. Wayne, like John Coltrane, John Lennon, and Bob Marley, believes music can save the most broken of men, or possibly even the world. The humanity of that gift that brings us all together is the sound of Wayne Kramer's guitar. Music has always been his life, and now Jail Guitar Doors is his mission. Ladies and gentlemen, Wayne Kramer.
Thanks, Matt. That was really sweet and terrific and flattering. And man, sitting in that cell in Lexington when I wasn't known as the great Wayne Kramer guitar playing hero, I was known as 00180-190. And then the path from that point to this point is it's mind-boggling to me, you know. Yet 24 hours ago, I was performing in England at the Glastonbury Festival. It was attended by 130,000 people. And here I am 24 hours later with you guys and being recognized by the California Lawyers for the Arts for the work that we, and I mean we, do in the prisons. You know, I'm an AA man, and we have a saying in AA that you make a list when you first get sober about the things you hope you'll accomplish when you get sober, and you will always sell yourself short. And I sold myself so short. The idea that this could be happening today is just mind-boggling. I'm really grateful to Alma and all your co-workers in the legal industry. I'm really proud to be connected to you guys. If you guys are happy to have me, I'm really happy to have you. You know, the fact that you advocate for artists is everything. You know, artists are generally insane, and we don't know how to look after ourselves. We don't know our rights. We don't know the law, and we depend on people like you guys to help us survive in a world that really would rather just take what we have to offer, collect their money on it, and kick us to the curb. So I really appreciate being connected with you guys. I also want to thank our coalition partners. You know, Jail Guitar Doors isn't the only group that cares about what happens to all our brothers and sisters and cousins and friends and fathers and sons and daughters serving time in America's prisons. You know, we have partnerships all over the world today. A lot of people care about prisoners. Actors Gang, Drug Policy Alliance. We have coalition partners all over the place. So I'd like to accept this award on their behalf and also on behalf of the prisoners themselves. It's one of the most inspiring things that I've ever experienced, to see guys light up when the instruments arrive. To know that they've shown their willingness to step up and do the hard work of rehabilitation. You know, we don't give them the guitar. The guitars aren't gifts. You know, the guitars represent a challenge, that you have work to do ahead of you. We expect more from you. And that the guitars represent a message. The people that donate the money that pay for those guitars are sending a message. And that message is that we believe in you. That we believe you want to do better. That you want to change for the better. That you want to come back out into the world and rejoin your friends and family and be part of the world with the rest of us. So I accept this on the prisoners' behalf. The hope that they display, the inspiration. You know, we get letters every day from prisoners all over the country asking for guitars, telling us what happened when the guitars got there, how it changed them, how it helped them, how it transformed them. We know that art is anger management. One of my great intellectual heroes, Theodore Adorno, said that every song written is a crime uncommitted. That's what I'm talking about. I'm really speechless. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart. This is really terrific. Thank you.
We know that behind every good man, there are two great women.
I'm Kat Canvas. I'm Wayne's sister, and I am the Director of Operations for Jail Guitar Doors.
Hi, this is a real surprise. I'm Margaret Kramer. I am the co-founder of Jail Guitar Doors with Wayne and Billy. I also happen to be married to Wayne. It's clearly Wayne's world. We just visited. Thank you all so much for recognizing him. He's a great inspiration to me and my hero, so thank you.
On behalf of the Board of Directors of California Lawyers for the Arts, we have made available a $10,000 grant to recognize and further your work. Thank you so much.
Wayne Kramer of Jail Guitar Doors is going to lead the band. You get to hear him lead the band to close tonight's program, along with his friends Matt Sorum, Gilby Clark, formerly of Guns N' Roses, along with Ferrari Dominique, Doug Lund, CLA board member Eric Metzger, Eric Chen, Ray Bergen will all be here performing. So thank you for your support, enjoy, and stick around. There's loads of fun and music to come. Thank you so much for being here. Bye-bye.
On my marker, and I couldn't get it clear. Was this the hand that I was dealt, or was this just my fear? I brought a knife to the gunfight, and I can't even up the score. I need a secret weapon, oh yes I do. I need a little more. I need a secret weapon, oh yes I do. I need a little more. I need a little more. Just a little more. I always need a little more. I always need just a little more to drink, just a little more to spend, just a little more to smoke, just a little more to love, just a little more sex, just a little more pain, just a little more drama, just a little You know, we can't talk about music in prison without, of course, mentioning Johnny Cash. And the way this thing works, you know, Johnny Cash had a soft spot in his heart for prisoners. I think musicians always have identified with people in the margins, people that slip through the cracks, because that's what happens to us most of the time. And Johnny Cash played San Quentin and Folsom, and there was a prisoner there that he influenced. And that prisoner's name was Merle Haggard. So I want to do one of Merle's songs, and we're going to feature a fiddle solo. The warden walked the prisoner down the hallway to his door, and I stood to say goodbye like all the rest.
board members. Eric Mesker.